What up, dudes? It's Gaz, and welcome back to another Warframe video. Today, we're talking about the buffs to the Saw weapons in Warframe, which are the newest melee weapon type added. We've currently got the Ghoulsaw equipped, which is, at time of recording, the only Saw weapon in the game. The way that we're going to be looking at this stuff and the way that DE is approaching buffing this thing after much community outcry of it being weak and feeling like it's terrible, pretty much they're saying the Ghoulsaw can get wrecked. We'll make a better version of it in the future. Focus on that one, which really cements my opinion of don't form with the Ghoulsaw. Don't waste time on the Ghoulsaw. It's just mastery fodder because it's gonna be slightly better mastery fodder after they buff the stance. But let's go over it right now. Make sure you're subbed to the channel and all that stuff. Let's get some gameplay of the Ghoulsaw on the screen as well. Keep in mind this is a Kuva Lich mission. All right, so we're gonna go over the official forum post. And we're also going to go over the combos, because they're actually buffing the combos of the Ghoulsaw. And that's basically there's no stat changes. The low base damage, the pitiful crit chance of 15%, and the 1.9 multiplier, those are all staying. And keep in mind, it's an MR7 weapon, so it's to be expected when you make an MR7 weapon that we've been waiting 4 years for. Okay, so going over what they're changing, we're also going to bring up the wiki page right here of the stance to show exactly what is going to be changing here. So let's read the forum post verbatim. The first of its kind assault saw is in your hands. The Ghoulsaw has been out for a little over a week, and with it, our latest melee stance, Butcher's Revelry. We are buffing some combos in the stance. More power is coming for the Tenno that are out there using combos with the Ghoulsaw. So remember, guys, the Ghoulsaw itself is not getting buffed at all. It's still got less damage than a dagger. It's still got less range than a dagger. It's still not a good weapon, in my opinion. It's got some small gimmicks you can do with it, where the 100% follow-through is pretty nice, but we're going to keep comparing it to the Karis Prime. You know, less crit chance, less crit damage, lower range than a rusty piece of metal on a handle, and, you know, the list goes on of bad stuff. You got 0.5 Dispel Rivens. I really want to like it, which is why I'm being so hard on it. Keep in mind, this weapon was first announced being worked on in November of 2017, okay? Let that be put into perspective a little bit for you, why it's being judged so harshly. Alright, so since we know that the Ghoulsaw itself is not getting buffed, that's the only weapon that can actually use this stance, let's go over what they're doing to the stance to make it slightly stronger, or maybe a lot stronger, depending how you look at it. Alright, so the combo Rictus Wrath is going to be getting a guaranteed slash proc on the second hit. We're going to talk about why that's probably not good enough in a second. Also increasing the damage multiplier from 2 to 3 on the third attack, and 3 to 4 on the fourth attack. Rictus Wrath is the standing combo. Now look at it's this one right here. You swing the Ghoulsaw 4 times. Look at how slow it is and clunky it is in the gameplay right there. So they're adding a slash proc to the second hit. Notice how the second hit is the only attack in this combo that has a new 100% multiplier. It has nothing. There's no double damage. There's no triple damage. It's the weakest hit in the combo. That's the one that's getting the slash proc. Additionally, they're increasing the third hit from 200% to 300%, and I believe it was for the fourth hit, it's going to be going from 200% to, it's going to be going from 3 to 4. Okay, so overall, you're getting more damage, and you're getting a guaranteed slash proc on the weakest hit of the combo, the second hit. I mean, it's a buff. It's definitely not going to be enough. I'd say, honestly, the problems with the Ghoulsaw, which is our only weapon we can really compare it to right now, are basically the stats of the weapon. And the stance is bad too, don't get me wrong, but I'm more focusing on the weapon that we have right now, not potential Kuva Ghoulsaws, Sentient Ghoulsaws, Corpus Ghoulsaws, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're not really thinking, I shouldn't be having to think about those right now because the weapon I have in my hands right now that I've been waiting 4 years for feels weak, and it wasn't just the stance to me. Because I used it without a stance too, and, you know, whatever. All right, moving on, Rip and Ride. This is the gap closer, like riding the Ghoulsaw combo. Increased damage multiplier from second hit in the attack from 1 to 2. Increased damage multiplier from the final hit in the attack from 2 to 3. I believe the final hit is actually the ground slam. So Rip and Ride is where you're riding the Ghoulsaw. That hit right there, that's getting increased damage multiplier. I guess also while you're riding the Ghoulsaw, you're getting a slightly increased damage multiplier. No guaranteed slash procs to be found on this one. It's got guaranteed impact procs and knockdowns. So this combo is still going to be not very good, honestly. Not very easy to hit enemies with it, and you know, people want to ride the Ghoul. So if we look at some of these comments right here, one of the most upvoted posts, guys saying thanks for the buffs, they're appreciated, but please let us ride the Ghoulsaw as much as we want. this is a unique weapon. I mean, what other games let you wield a crazy zombie chainsaw like this? That's a looter shooter, MMO-esque type of game. There really aren't many of them, and like the crazy weapon designs and all that in this game is what makes a lot of people fall in love with it. This thing feels like a by-the-numbers melee weapon that looks nothing like a by-the-numbers melee weapon. It's a gigantic saw. I mean, we want to love it. We want to love it so bad, but you made MR7 and set up to fail. So let's go with the rest of the buffs. So we went over the Rip and Ride. The other one, the spinning around combo, Reciprocator combo, I guess that's what it's called. Increase the damage multiplier of the first 2 hits on the first attack from 0.5 to 1. Remember, that's you spinning around really fast. Those hits actually were doing half damage before. Now they will do neutral damage, I suppose. Increase the damage multiplier of the 4th hit in the first attack from 1 to 2. So I guess that's when the second spin. So you spin around once, and then you spin around again. It's this combo right here. So that right there, that was doing half damage. Now the second spin around, that's 1 button press. Let's actually do it in game so we can actually see exactly what's happening here, because that that was a little bit confusing, that GIF they showed. All right, so we've got the Reciprocator combo. So let's push the button once. Blocking, press it. Okay, so you spin around like twice pretty much from 1 button press, and there's about 4 hits in there, it seems like. So they're increasing the multiplier. It currently does like less damage than a normal hit would do. They're going to be increasing that to neutral, and they're going to be increasing the damage at the end to even higher. Keep in mind, there's also more buffs to this combo coming. So 260 damage. No wonder. Okay, honestly, I noticed this with the Ghoulsaw a lot. No wonder we were getting such low damage numbers when using this combo. Like, look at that, the 200 damage. That can be increased to like 500, which was apparently supposed to be the entire time. Or that's what it'll be buffed to. That's what it should have been, but it was doing half damage because that's how they programmed it, apparently. Did they think that Ghoulsaw was going to be OP or something? Like, are we missing something here? I mean, you can buff any weapon in the game to one-shot stuff. But this is an MR7 gigantic saw, okay? I'm going to hammer that home point forever, honestly. So let's finish off the stance buffs here. Since we're going with the Reciprocator combo. Added a guaranteed slash proc to the 3rd hit in the 2nd attack. Okay, so that means so this is separate from the first spin. You need to complete the first spin. On the 2nd spin, the 3rd hit in that will do a guaranteed slash proc. Let's see what the multiplier is, because they didn't actually mention anything about that 3rd hit getting an increased multiplier. So Reciprocator, the 3rd hit in the... so that would be... Okay, that would be a 200% multiplier. That's going to get a guaranteed slash proc right there. So if you can actually get to the end of the Reciprocator combo, you will have a guaranteed slash proc with a 200% multiplier. So that will probably be the best hit in the entire weapon, honestly. I guess Rictus Wrath also has a slash proc there as well. But I'd say maybe the spin combo will be the way to go after this. Not to mention, you could always, of course, use a heavy attack on stunned enemies, use the ground slam, or not the ground slam, the ground finisher on stunned enemies and all that. And increase the damage multiplier on the final hit from 3 to 4. Whatever, honestly. So let's finish off their little posting. This means that you're engaging the combos of the Ghoulsaw, you're dealing more damage. We want to increase the lethality of all things Ghoulsaw after reading player feedback, and felt the combos themselves were the best place to buff a big batch of numbers to encourage use of the full suite of moves. This makes it in the future other weapons that share the class. See, they're saying they're buffing this for any other future Saw weapons, which is why I feel like they just are abandoning the Ghoulsaw. That's how I look at it. They should be buffing the stats as well. I mean, you really should. They should have made it MR7. I really feel like that was a mistake, or just a troll. I hope it wasn't a troll, because it feels like they put a lot of work into making the Ghoulsaw. I mean, they're buffing the stance for future weapons, and the way I look at that, it's just like, we don't care about the Ghoulsaw. We just care about, in the future when we make the Kuva Ghoulsaw, when we make the, there will be no Ghoulsaw Prime. There will be probably a Kuva Ghoulsaw. I could see that happening potentially, or a Tenant Ghoulsaw or something like that. Yeah, unfortunate, really. I don't understand why this thing has 2.15 range. I don't understand why it has 197 damage. It's just not really adding up. I don't know what to tell you. Also, the running around with the saw attack, that honestly could use a buff as well. This one, this feels so wonky. It hardly does any hits at all. And it really highlights how terrible the range on this thing is. So let's go over here. So I have prime reach on here, so it's about 5 point something. Like with my gigantic saw, I feel like I should be hitting from farther away, honestly. Yeah, it's disappointing, honestly. I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed. So, yeah, guys, hopefully this is enough for you. I mean, if you are a Ghoulsaw enjoyer, don't let me rain on your parade. But I know it could be better. I know DE could do better. This is one of the really exciting weapons we've gotten that it's been highly anticipated. Honestly, like been hyped up beyond belief. Win Ghoulsaw is a meme of the game at this point. And now I'm just like, win Ghoulsaw buff. That's the new meme. Win buff Ghoulsaw. We have to wait 4 years on that. I think it's never going to happen, honestly. So wait around for that Kuva Ghoulsaw. Don't form with this garbage. The stance buffs are going to do hardly anything, in my opinion. But I will make a revisited video when the stance buffs come out. So keep an eye out for that. Hope you guys found this video helpful. I'll talk to you next time and take it easy. Peace.